late, that you have to cut it this right now. You can't allow this to go on. And for them to find a balance that they allow this information to be on this iPad, number one. Number two, Aubrey had the iPad at home and the iPad was open, and his son just happened to go by and see the open iPad, go figure. But all in all, I think the NFL got this right. You gotta put this, you gotta cut this in the bud right now. That way this doesn't happen. And it sounds like there were other issues or other situations where there was some prank calls made. If you're out there making prank calls in this situation, trying to ruin this moment, shame on you.
2031.
So what would the one next door be? 2033? Battleship.
Oh, right here?
I'm trying to find that building's for sale.
Oh, really? I think someone just bought it. But it could be. It could be 2030. I'm interested.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to start with the New York Times. I think a lot of people have talked bad about Ryan Dayball and Joe Shane. They don't have the parking lot. You got to give them a spot right now. Anytime you get out there caught up, who most thought was the best, most talented player in the draft, and you come back in at the back of the first round and you trade in and you get your quarterback.
White House
we thought it was a
down there is for rent too.
I know, I seen that. Dude, that shit just got caught on fire.
Did it?
Yeah. Like a month ago.
They did both a tremendous job by Ryan Dayball and Joe Shane. And for me, a team that I thought, Matt, that probably could have done a little bit more, kind of left me going, man, I want a little bit more. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think, we all wonder who's going to play quarterback for them. And I get it. All the rumors about Aaron Rodgers and everything going on there. But at some point, somebody got allowed to play the quarterback position. I love Derek Harmon as a defensive tackle. He can come in and learn under Cam Haywood. But at some point, we got to get a quarterback. And no disrespect to Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. I don't think any one of those are scaring Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson. So I just wonder what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing and if they're putting too many of their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket.
Yeah, you also wonder what they know that none of us do, because I'm with you going into the draft. They were one of the 4, 5, 6 out of the half. Let's go. Let's get it.
So Elway's business partner and former agent has died after falling from a golf cart driven by Elway. TMZ reported that Jeff Spurbeck fell from the passenger seat and hit his head on the ground on Saturday. TMZ also reports that there is no indication that Elway was driving negligently. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department is investigating. Spurbeck is 62 years old. What's your
Lysol kills 99.9% of germs and leaves a scent you'll love.
The Chase Ink Business Cash Card gives you up to 5% cash back on business essentials like internet, cable, and phone services.
Our Chase Ink card helped us build a ceramic smoothie from scratch, and now everyone can make something from nothing.
Chase for business.
Xfinity Wi-Fi is boom. I love that you get better fast internet and unlimited $40 a month for a year. No!
146 square feet.
Some people think going country is cheesy. I agree. Like deliciously cheesy. Your favorite mozzarella sticks are back. Now with that Nashville hot sweet heat, starting at $4. Get so much more on your floor.
So let's see, 146.
Use kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites at once. I like to do things myself. No machine is better than me.
Kayak. Search one and done.
Scout is protected by Simparica Trio, and he's in it to win it. Simparica Trio is the first chew with triple protection.
600 bucks a month.
Wheats and ticks.
Still, for one room though.
Intestinal worms. Well, worm disease, no problem with Simparica Trio. This drug class has been associated with neurologic adverse reactions, including seizures. Used with caution in dogs with a history of these disorders. For winning protection, go with Simparica Trio.
To be a pet parent is to be human. Sometimes we feel guilty, even when it's for their own good. It's not always a walk in the park. That's why more and more pet people rely on Hills, with scientifically proven formulas to give more love than humanly possible. Because you're only human needs Hills. Science does more.
Next level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NextGuard Plus. One and done monthly parasite protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with NextGuard Plus.
9 to 5 in the review, and now happy hour having run. Let's lead this man to his $6 Popeyes Big Box. That's more crunch balance.
Love that Popeyes.
Let's talk salary.
Wait, what do you typically offer for this role?
It's competitive.
And if it was a number, it would be...
Bron gonna
With Indeed, you
keep
can
him
avoid
alive or
awkward
what?
salary conversations from the start.
Bron.
Is it competitive?
RP?
Depends on how bad they want to stay in it. We saw Miami. Miami didn't even want to play that game.
House Bakes value menu. Everything's
Lost
just
by
$6.
55.
The breakfast eggs combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
Burt's Bees Boosted Bones Vitamin Water moisturizes with a splash of color that feels like a kiss from a June cherry blossom that lasted a while. Yeah, feels kind of like that. Burt's Bees, a touch of wonder.
I'm sure. I mean, to get closed out by 55 in the playoffs, like that's time to rebuild after that.
Happy Women's Crunch Wednesday.
Same with
everyone. As
Memphis.
you know,
They didn't necessarily get blown out, but
celebrate a woman
sweat.
that
Yeah.
had never been done before. Agent Nicole Lynn of Clutch Sports Group. Just 6 years ago, Nicole became the first black woman to represent an NFL draft pick, when Winnie Williams was taken third overall by the Jets. The following year,
That's where I think Sacramento would have been a better contender.
and this year, in the 2025 NFL draft, she herself has 3 first-round picks. Tucker Booker, Malachi Starks, and Jahad Campbell. There is more. As president of football operations at Clutch, she helped her
I don't think so.
secure a record 5
They got too many guys who have been
in this
there.
year's draft, which is the most since the ABC section.
Y'all tripping.
Christine, good stuff.
Sacramento can't do shit.
No, dude. They have a good team. They just don't have all the pieces.
Their chemistry, they left right when they were supposed to.
Like, what did Sabonis was saying? He wants a point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
All right, at number 2, Lourdes.
Everybody was in the ball.
Thank you for that gift, my friends. Wow.
Sacramento always does this.
Kind of crazy that they picked up DeRozan and what's his name from the Bulls. Like, because they didn't do it on the Bulls either.
Exactly. I definitely would like Levine over.
I just, like, any attitude aside, or teammate attitude aside, just pure skill on the court. I can see why GM would put them two together. They need an outside threat. DeRozan gives you like an inside threat, sort of that mid-range. But
both are. It's just different sports that
I can see how it could work, but it just
Georgia
doesn't.
game horses here.
And they saw that it didn't in Chicago, so why?
Triggered ACL in practice yesterday. She's out.
That's why our general manager got
September
fired.
preseason. It's very Saturday or start.
Yeah. Bring some big names in so they can sell tickets for the end of the season.
It's with a shooting coach for what they get.
I mean, it worked in Chicago.
But yeah, Lonzo.
Yeah, before he got injured.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lonzo, and they had, what's his name? On FAC now? White dude? Who? Caruso, yeah. Like, they have a lot of supporting cast.
With a huge road win to keep their season alive.
Here in Boston, it's about winning. It's not about just getting out of the first round.
Boston is bound for the second round. Got inside and puts it in. The Pacers are
Pacers. Welcome to NBA Today, presented by American Express.
Today we're 36 games into the playoffs. Already? 5 series are still hanging in the balance. Love it. Tonight, 2 teams face pivotal Game 5. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler look to close out the Houston Rockets. Close my ears. In Houston. And then just across the street, it's do or die for LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. They try to fend off elimination at the hands of Ant and the Timberwolves. Only 3 teams have punched their tickets to the second round. The Thunder, the Cavaliers, and now the Pacers. But how did Indiana join the top seeds from the East and the West, where they pulled off something that we haven't seen in over 1,600 playoff games? A comeback from a deficit of 7 or more points with 40 seconds or less remaining. Start your engines, drivers. Let's head to Indianapolis here, because this is where we pick this one up. In overtime, 40 seconds left. Andrew Nembhard dribbles up. He's been fantastic. Throws the three.
Condolences to those who changed the channel during overtime when they saw the score.
But Gary Trent Jr., he was absolutely sensational for this Milwaukee Bucks team.
He was, but then after that, it was a series. You're a book reader. Unfortunate event.
Absolutely.
Never make a jump pass like that.
Well, and then Miles Turner comes up with it. Tyrese Halliburton to the other. The way we go.
Come on.
All the way up to the cup and one.
Left and right, tough finishes. He accepted the challenge. He accepted the physicality. Step the hell.
And then 13 seconds left here. The Bucks trying to move the ball around here. It comes to Gary Trent Jr. Again, we've said he's had a fantastic game, but he just couldn't handle the ball.
These are the plays that enforce nightmares. It was in your full control. It was an unlucky break for them.
Looking around just in disbelief there, understandably so. And that brings us to today's electric moment, brought to you by Hyundai. The closing seconds of overtime here. Gets the ISO on Giannis Antetokounmpo, drives to the rim. Hey, no Brook Lopez on the floor. There's no rim protection there.
Exactly. I mean, just the moxie on this guy. I know a lot of the players voted him overrated. Well, that was motivation when it mattered.
A little bit of Kobe Bryant-esque, right, with that capital T-H-A-T, overrate that. And that would be all she wrote here. The Indiana Pacers, they hang on in overtime again. Spectacular night for Gary Trent Jr. It just wasn't quite enough. Indiana gets the 1-point win to close out the series. And John Halliburton, Tyrese's dad, clearly excited. Showed his emotions maybe a little bit too much.
Understatement.
Gets in Giannis's face, chatting a little. We all have personal relationships with John. He's a really proud dad. This just went there too far.
Out-of-body experience. I was unnecessary and just unacceptable. I'm glad there was an apology.
Here's Giannis, what he had to say about that post-game dust-up.
Coming in the floor and showing me the son tower with his face. This is what we do. This is what we have to do. This is the F we do. This one. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful.
I think it's the emotions of the game.
It means with respect.
I talk with Giannis.
A lot that goes into the
I don't think about how physical at all. Unfortunate, what happened behind there. This series was a lot more words, a lot more, and it takes a lot of stuff going back and forth. But it's just part of this rivalry and what we built here over the last couple of years.
Don't mess up this piece.
So Tyrese Halliburton was just with our colleague on
respect
after the setup saying he has talked to Giannis since then, and also John Halliburton he took to social media to apologize here. He said, "I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization for my actions following tonight's game. This is not a good reflection on our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again." So we'll be coming in our senior reporter here, Brian Windhorst, NBA champ Kendrick Perkins. Brian, there's so much to dissect from this game last night, but your biggest takeaway from this Pacers-Bucks game is what?
You know, right.
The takeaway needs to be how great Tyrese Halliburton was. Nothing with his dad, which was unfortunate. But my gosh, he made 3 enormous baskets in this game. Not even fitting into our highlight was the dunk that he made that was the basket that forced overtime. So he wasn't, his outside shot wasn't falling. He went to the basket, was able to get that to hoop. Then you just showed the 2 plays in overtime. As Janae said, one going left, one going right. The thing that gets me, they had this out of bounds play for the last possession. They brought Pascal Siakam up. They chose to put Giannis onto Tyrese. The way they set the play, I asked Rick Carlisle, I said, did you seriously want Giannis on Tyrese for this last basket, down 1? And he said it wasn't about the matchup. It was about us and me trusting Tyrese to make a play. And make a play he did. To me, this is a story about Tyrese Halliburton, regardless of what anybody says about overrated, elevating his team and taking a game that was a loss in an elimination opportunity. That's a huge moment for him.
Well, the Bucks did play a part in the win game. Let me dive into a little bit of my Brian Windhorst here. I don't want to hear the whole Doc Rivers fault thing. It's the cool thing to say, right?
We got a tattoo,
oh,
bro.
like Doc Rivers, this is on the hands
We got a
of
tattoo.
No, it's not. The players for the Milwaukee Bucks lost this game on the floor. We saw the turnovers down the stretch, right? Can Doc Rivers go on the floor and actually catch the ball?
I gotta just put it in the book. That way we just have a date.
Turnover when Gary Trent Jr. know the golden rule is to not get trapped in the corner. By the way, Giannis Antetokounmpo, we give him so much praise and rightfully so. The last possession of the game, you can't get out of the defensive stance and keep a guy in front of you and just to make.
What would you put on your neck?
Side, back,
oh, really? Oh, fuck
I just get tired of hearing like, oh, the Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers in the past, yes, you can blame him, but Doc Rivers for this meltdown in the Bucks hand, this goes on the players that was performing on the floor.
Well, and now the questions begin, right, about Giannis and his future with the Bucks. Here's what he had to say, or rather not to say, about whether he can win another championship with the Knicks in Milwaukee.
I go back and forth with him there.
Not gonna do
Because I
this.
feel like if I'm gonna do everything, you can't not do the net. It like doesn't. It just fills it in. But I gotta figure out.
I don't know, man. I wish I was still playing. I wish I was still like beating him, going back to Milwaukee. I don't know.
All right, well, the person who will speak on the Bucks' future is our product insider, Bobby Marks. You know, Bobby, that this roster is currently constructed. It's just not good enough. So what can Milwaukee do this summer?
Like I could see that argument for somebody who, like me, if I had no tattoos and I just came in and said, yeah, I could blast my throat out.
Dude, you have so many tattoos now.
And then if it's
I mean,
Milwaukee,
fair, man.
do we need to pivot from
And I feel like I haven't
Here's
even.
why.
I feel like I have so
When you're
much
looking
empty
at, there are
space.
3 things to keep an eye on. It's the health of Damian Lillard.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like people are
Next year, he's got another $15 million after that. He's likely going to be out an extended period of time.
Is he? Then it's because of the torso.
Assets. They have no first round pick this year. They have 1 tradable first round pick in 2031 or 2032. And then the third thing is their future free agents this offseason. They created financial flexibility when they moved Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. That flexibility is probably now earmarked towards Gary Trent Jr. Trent Jr., Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, Torian Prince, Kevin Porter Jr., Pat Connaughton, all free agents.
I think I started today.
And eventually, when the cycle ends and you run out of options, and unfortunately, I think the time has ended.
We didn't do it back to back either. It was like a tat and then
a
wait and then another.
In the first round. So, Janae, as a player,
Oh yeah, that was
knowing that they have
a
not been quite good enough, where do you
between.
think the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo should go from here?
As a player, you have to evaluate a lot. But when I think of Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is one of the NBA's greatest heavyweights. He is someone that plays with dominance and also tremendous talent. He's a walking 30 and 12 on 60%
Giannis to the Kings
So when I
to
said heavyweight for a reason, because when it comes to this decision, actually split. It's like a split decision. Giannis is an extremely loyal guy. He's a guy that you can see has made roots in Milwaukee and has built this franchise up after a period and also delivered a championship. I don't see anything truly indicating that he wants to go, but still you have to think. Because too, there's a cost to loyalty. Sometimes you look at your teammate Dame Lillard, and maybe you know what I mean? I feel like they can make some things happen here. For so long,
it wouldn't be a straight up trade. Like DeRozan would go somewhere else and another big team would get involved.
Prime. Giannis is 30 years old. If the time were to be any time, it's right now to make a decision to go. But still, he's still showing signs that he cares dearly about Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
Him and Dame might.
I would advise Giannis, and great points tonight, but I would advise Giannis to go listen to Kevin Garnett Hall of Fame speech, where he said he wished he would have been to Boston in the Celtic uniform sooner, meaning he held on to being a Minnesota Timberwolves too long. He played for the Minnesota Timberwolves too long. And if I'm Giannis, I'm in my prime. Look, you done done everything in the world for this organization, delivered the championship, right? Made this city relevant, made the city money, right? No one is going to be upset with you if you decide to leave on, which I think is the best decision for him. But again, my whole thing is Giannis just needs to really sit down, evaluate, because it's hard. Getting drafted by an organization, this becomes your home. So it's hard. His next decision, whatever it may be, if he decides to leave, which I think he will or should, I think he really got to consider where he want to go. And if it's all about championships and not the bright lights, I got a few ideas, but I'll save them for a later date.
Guys, there has been zero speculation about Giannis and his future. He has worked very hard, and so is his reputation,
Can't you
so
tell?
is his representation to shut down anything.
He's got the Padres
He's
hat,
completely
the
focused on the
Lakers
Bucks,
shirt,
and so there's
Dallas
basically a
fan.
bit of a mystery. It
I don't
might
know
be a
what's gonna
mystery
happen.
within the organization a little bit. It's definitely a mystery for other teams out there. Whether he would want to get moved into potentially be on a list of interesting teams, which means that this is going to be one of the biggest things that is hanging over the NBA offseason, and other players, potentially even other star players who might end up on the trade market, might have to wait themselves to see how Giannis' situation plays out, because teams are going to see him as the biggest fish.
To your point, there's been a lot of respect, right, hanging over
How'd it
all
go?
of this because of the relationship
Is it Giannis already out there?
Milwaukee. John Forrest had with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks and his representatives. So, Bobby, how likely is it we're actually going to see it?
Huh?
Well, this is not going to be a Luka trade.
That's it. Hell yeah.
Traded in the middle.
That's right.
Without him knowing about it. Listen, I think any trade or any speculation here is going to be both sides sitting down together and figuring out what's best for Giannis and what's best for the organization, and then coming to a conclusion sometime, maybe prior to the draft here. But as we laid it out, the pieces are, the key leads are certainly looking at this organization trying to reboot, and that might be without Giannis on the roster.
Look, I'm speculating on whether or not Giannis is going to exit from Milwaukee, but I do know this. He loves that city. He loves that franchise. He's made it very clear. I think of after he won the championship in 2021, he sat down for an interview with me and he said, you know what, if I never win another one, this is always going to hold an incredibly special place in my heart. Giannis is one of those guys who's absolutely going to weigh the life that he has created with his aspirations to continue to win championships, and it's something that is going to take a little time. I think about Kevin Durant, and if there's a team that is eliminated potentially earlier than they were expecting, whether or not that loosens them looking towards, okay, maybe we need to add, to use your words, a heavyweight like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bobby, thank you so very much. All right, the Bucks season is done, but the playoffs are still pushing. Coming up on NBA Today, the Lakers, they have their backs against the wall, but Luka Doncic, he seems to be confident in pulling off the improbable. Hear what he had to say ahead of the biggest game of LA's season.
They do call him Luka Magic.
Luka Magic and Dan Taxes and Jamal Murray lighting up the playoffs. Just looking at this point, what have the Nuggets figured out against Kawhi and the Clippers? Perk has an LA confidential message for the team. Plus, you know I've been notoriously, well, how many superstars are there in the NBA? And Jason Tatum is having his superstar moment. Can Cam shock the world? So many questions. Thankfully, Sinead's here. That means we got all the answers. NBA Day back after this. You know it.
and all.
You comb through every last piece of evidence. You make the final, impossible connection. And all the while, you were soaking in the bottom. Oh, there's more to imagine when you listen. This is our tradition. This is our uniqueness. Di Serono, the world's favorite Italian liqueur.
At Planet Fitness, there's strength in numbers.
Yeah?
The number of different workouts to do. Different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
There we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all. And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, bring a friend anytime, and recover in the Black Card spa. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
With new McValue at McDonald's, you'll get more than you expect for breakfast. Like buy a sausage burrito and add a sausage McMuffin for $1. But there's a late-night double shift that serves an early morning. Get more than you expect. New McValue.
Don't know about you, this time I'm kind of better.
I will be reducing the scholarship program to 3.
Oh, I can let you. It's a party.
It's deer season.
Already? Nice knowing you. We gotta hide.
No, not that deer season. Deer season. It's that time of year when you can get $3,000 off at an authorized John Deere dealer.
Deer season's in the same spot?
That's right. And it's going on now, June 2nd.
How do you know so much about this?
You see the guy in the logo? Yeah, he's an old friend of mine.
Really? It's deer season, now through June 2nd.
What's harder? Tillamook's founding farmers building a ship to share their dairy with the world? Or building a teeny tiny model of it? Tough to say. Have some ice cream and think about it.
New sleep hack. Sleeping 1,000 miles from anywhere else. Explore unforgettable glamping and more outdoor stays in Marriott Bonvoy's entire world of hotel rooms and experiences.
It's all happening too fast. What, you nervous about the wedding? No, it's the house. We gotta prove. Oh, don't stress. This house, it's the one. Speaking of the one, caterer. We need a caterer.
Whether you're a professional technician or simply take pride in maintaining your own cars, Harbor Freight offers quality auto tools to meet your every need at prices that can't be beat. Harbor Freight, your automotive destination.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo. $6. French toast breakfast.
NBA Today is presented by the powerful backing of American Express.
Like the Bee Gees, the Pistons, they're just trying to bop-bop, bop-bop.
Stay alive.
Exactly. Fight to live another day.
Coming into Madison Square Garden, hoping to keep their season alive here. Cade Cunningham took that as his personal mission.
He is a smooth criminal. You cannot speed him up. He plays at his tempo. That's why I say the motorcade is always in cruise control.
See, Marchand, you're going to get me in trouble. I want to start saying smooth operator. But right here, Jalen Brunson comes up a little bit hobbled on this play. That right ankle, it's the same ankle he was rehabbing at the end of the regular season. Yeah, let's just land a little awkwardly. He stayed in the game for a little bit, but then he headed back to the locker room. And then here, this is a huge three. This is why you go get Karl Anthony.
It seems like he turns up as the game matters most. Again, 42% from three. He's the best shooting big man.
And then Jalen Brunson back in the game after that injury. Cade Cunningham drives. Now it's Josh Hart who lives.
Yeah, I mean, this is the NBA's overall, not just one series has been extremely physical, but Detroit, they have responded to everything the Knicks have thrown at them.
He headed back to the locker room, and it would be costly in more ways than one, because 2 minutes left here on the floor. Yes, Cade Cunningham gets to go. But yes, to your point, it is Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart who are making their way to the scores table. 2 minutes to go, they didn't enter until 27 seconds left.
The longest 2 minutes in all of New Yorkers' lives watching those guys watch the end of the game in this possession.
Cade Cunningham sizing up OG Anunoby.
Scouting reports don't matter. This is one-on-one. This is street hoops. And just having the awareness, again, when he's cooking, he's able to also drop dimes, get 8 on the night.
And it's Detroit who gets the win. Here's David Bickerstaff on the mindset being down 3-2.
The focus is just the game that's in front of us. And I do believe like why we've been able to grow the way that we've grown is because that's the mentality we've had. It's not going to be easy, but we got an opportunity to go home playing a game 6 and in front of our crowd, which I know will be awesome.
How confident do you think you'll get that?
All right, we'll be back. That sounds like a job for a percentage chance. Perk, what is the percentage chance that the Pistons, that is a tongue twister, come back to tie the series against the Knicks?
Zero. No way in hell back to get this series. Hey, listen, you're telling me the New York Big Body Bronson, who's the best player in this series, got 2 games to get one with a game 7 if it goes to a game 7 on.
Perk's so hyped that he's freezing. 0% chance, he says. All right. Well, let's check in on the reigning champs who sent a message last night. Here's how Boston closed the door on Orlando in Game 5 here today. So the Celtics, they started off this game struggling from 3. They didn't hit a three-pointer in the first half. It's only the second time this entire season, regular season or playoffs, that a team didn't make a single 3 in the first half.
Look, Joe Mazzulla would just say, it's okay, guys. Law of averages. Because you know if you keep shooting them, that means you're sooner, closer to your next mate.
This, though, in the third quarter, may be the play that decided the game here. Celtics down to Jaylen Brown, drives here, fouled by Paolo Banchero. The Magic did challenge this, and it was upheld. Paolo, that's where he picks up his 5th foul, forcing him to be subbed out, and that started a 30-9 run to close out the rest of the third.
The barrage, because then after that, I mean, obviously this is the Orlando team that struggles at times with offense. They lead with their defense, but those guys were cooking. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Let's take a listen to Tatum after another monster performance here.
We're champions. We can win multiple different ways, multiple different lineups. The Magic, they forced us to play a different way. We adapted and figured it out.
He's dominated after missing Game 2 with that wrist injury. He joins Larry Bird in 1987 as the only Celtics with 3 straight 35-point playoff games. That helped him average 31.3 points per game for the series, making this the highest scoring series of his career, Brian. Considering he had those 3 straight 35-point games to close out the Magic, even beyond the numbers, what stood out to you about the way that he's leading the Celtics even through that series?
Casual greatness for the Celtics. They really they've been drama-free in the postseason the last 2 years. They're now 20-4 the last 2 years in the playoffs. Tatum misses Game 2 with the wrist injury, comes back with 37 points, 36 points, 35 points, averages 10 rebounds and 6 assists in those games, shoots 44% on threes, plus 65 for the series. Just absolute casual greatness. He's not making headlines, he's just getting it done. But I would be remiss to not point out Paolo Banchero had a great series for the Magic. He averaged 30 points and 8 rebounds. But Jason Tatum showed how you act like a superstar and give your team low-stress greatness.
Certainly, Paolo Banchero showed the Orlando Magic front office brass, you know what, this is a player, a star in the making that is worth building around here. And now the Boston Celtics, they await the winners of the Knicks and Pistons series. Coming up here on NBA Today, the Clippers, they have momentum, but Game 5, it belongs to the Nuggets. What Denver revealed last night that could change the rest of the series. Plus, can the Rockets do what only 2 teams in history have ever done? Today, she's got a cheat sheet that will reveal what has to go perfectly tonight in H-Town. And can Ant lead the Wolves to close like contenders, or are they about to let Luka LeBron swing the door back open? Big Perky has the thoughts. Keep it locked.
I'm Anthony Edwards, and you're watching NBA Today.
I can't see them close out the Lakers tonight. I can't see it.
Jersey Mike's beats Mike's Extra Hot Honey on the new Mike's Hot Honey Chicken Cheesesteak. Jersey Mike's Freshly Grilled Cheesesteak, Mike's Honey. Jersey Mike's Pepperoni and Melted Cheese, Mike's Honey. Mike's. Dale, the new Mike's Hot Honey Chicken Cheesesteak. Quick limited time only. Jersey Mike's. It's for the V is very, very
You come through every last piece of evidence. You made the final impossible conclusion.
You're gonna do Kobe like that?
You simply move on. There's more to imagine when you listen.
These people of privilege hoarding the financial advantages for far too long. Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment. The 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Run up the score, all playoffs on underdog. You can make picks and win money just by picking higher or lower on your favorite players. Get it right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. You can play in 35 states, including California, Georgia, Texas, and Missouri. So join the pack of over 7 million happy fans who've already signed up on Underdog. Sign up, deposit, and get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek.
Me either.
Don't test it. Dog approved.
Every golfer wants to get better. The question
Yeah, I don't see it at all, dude.
Here is the new smartphone. Ping and Arcos. Arcos captures your shots automatically, so you can focus on what's in front of you. Arcos shows you your strengths, weaknesses, and exactly what to practice. The new AI caddy feature is incredible. It shows you the perfect strategy for every shot. If you own ping clubs, you can get Arcos for free. So out with the old and in with Arcos.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. Yosa, the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause. With hormone-free Yosa, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Yosa reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Yosa can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and after your treatment. Stop the
Getting
Yosa. Call your
tattooed?
doctor if you have
Yeah,
symptoms
because
of liver
it's like
problems, such as
5 seconds behind.
It's a little lagging.
So it's like you see something that's actually happened a minute ago.
dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Yosa if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about hormone-free
You're sitting on a
Yosa.
crazy
You can
clutch.
save on Yosa. Visit saveonyosa.com to learn more.
Like, I don't know. I would go through those.
That's not even like that's a lot of them, but I have a lot more.
I mean, I would.
That's about 70.
I'd drop, I don't know, $2,000 or something on just having grading done. I think it would be worth it. And definitely buy yourself a case.
I know, I need to.
Get a big one. I had to buy a second one.
What, you got a link for what you got? I want to see.
It's nothing special. It's just like a
something changed. Yeah.
LeBron's teams boast a 1-4 series record after going down 3-1, but the one is the most famous 3-1 comeback in NBA history, the 2016 Finals. Luka Doncic, he spoke yesterday afternoon.
Definitely true, like exactly.
Yeah, 2 of these. Oh, hell yeah. That thing looks sick.
I mean, it's a lot easier to move stuff around and you know it's in there nice and tight and secure. For $45, I mean, shit. That's the price of one raw card.
Reporter covering the Lakers joins us now. Dave, we just heard that Luka says that he is confident, even though he knows the history of what happens when you go down 3-1. Where is he drawing that from?
He's confident because he thinks back to Game 4 in that third quarter, and the Lakers played their best 12 minutes of the series on both ends of the basketball court. And they outscored the Wolves 36-23. They shot an efficient 59%. They held the Wolves to under 40% shooting. And Lucas said, looking at the tape, you can see his teammates flying around defensively and playing for one another offensively. And he said to do that in a situation where you're on the road, you're down at halftime, obviously you need to make a dent in the series. That gives him confidence that he can do that at home with his group, with the home crowd behind them. And again, that group that did it with Dorian Finney-Smith, with the Lakers' 4 regular starters. I asked J.J. Redick at practice on Tuesday, are we going to see the same group to start Game 5 that we saw in Game 4? And he said TBD. But all the talk is how good they were in the third quarter of that game. You'd think we'll see a lot of Dorian Finney-Smith tonight in place of Jackson Hayes.
Dave, thank you so much. We'll see you a little bit later at the game. And played down the stretch of that game, that may be an understatement. J.J. Redick with the same 5 players for the entire second half of Game 4. And it seemed like that took a little bit of a toll on the Lakers down the stretch. They were outscored 32-19 in that fourth quarter here. So bringing back in Kendrick Perkins as well. Perk, what do you want to see the Lakers do a little bit differently tonight?
As expected and confirmed by my brother Dave McMillan, the Lakers are only worried about the offense. McMillan, the Lakers are only worried about the offensive end. That's it. They're only worried about the offensive end. It's two sides of the basketball, right? Because if you was worried about the defensive side of things, then you would know how hard it is to go up in the trenches and battle with big folks like LeBron James has to do with Julius Randle and Gobert.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Did they let you put something up?
They took some flyers for it from us. They didn't let us put nothing up. And then
Okay, sick.
they were talking about it.
Sick.
They said they can't put nothing up. But
Oh, Pete's right here?
yeah.
Oh, sick.
But they can't put nothing up, but they put them in the back for all the workers.
Nice.
Use your bench. Use Dave Vincent, who Eric Spoelstra
It's
used
hot
when
outside.
they made the
I know.
finals when he was with the Miami Heat.
It's only gonna get hotter.
Think about the
I
other
was
side
like, well,
of
we
the
can try
basketball
it. Yeah, but
Look at LeBron James. Look at Rudy. All the holding their
And then we
their
hit top of
hands high. You gotta
What'd they
find
say?
spot minutes for these guys to get some rest, especially going against a physical, athletic team like the Minnesota.
How many more do we have left?
You know what's funny, Bert, besides you saying
Yeah.
I would personally
What's tomorrow, Thursday?
no, you're good. You're good. Okay, so you know how you showed like the clip of like, you know, when you're tired, coaches always tell you the last thing you want to do is put your hands on your knees like that because it signals to your opponents that, hey, we've got you where we want you. Yeah. But here's the good news, right? The Lakers have 2 of the all-time best leading scorers when it comes to postseason, backs against the wall, and elimination, and Luka and LeBron. Here's the bad news. Amongst the remaining playoff teams, they have absolutely the worst defense. So first, even though the way you say names is wrong, your point was right on the defense. Look, the issue here is the reason why I think LeBron James had a little bit of slippage and Luka was not as effective late was because of what they're asking you defensively. Now, Luka's a whole different piece, but for LeBron, he has been asked to guard centers. I remember a time a couple months ago when he was like, oh, that's never going to happen. Well, we are here in that day and age where LeBron is being taxed. And defensively, I think JJ has to find different schemes. You have to find ways to disrupt the flow that Ant has and Jason Daniels has and Nas Reed has. Because if you show them zones, if you show them traps, like then at least you can create a little bit of chaos. And that chaos can allow your guys to have a better chance.
Luka, LeBron at home facing elimination. I don't know that there is a more motivated. We talked about Giannis, for example, how potent he becomes in that sort of situation. Add Luka and LeBron together, and that gets even scarier for their opponent here, Brian. It's also going to be on Anthony Edwards. You heard him. He came into the series saying no one is picking us. Having that motivation versus now being the team that has to not let go of the rope here, it's going to be an interesting balance.
Yeah, Luka and LeBron at home, where they've been great, on 2 days rest, which is vitally important here. And that could play a significant role. Remember, that game on Sunday was like 38 hours after they had finished Game 3. Look, this series has been about the fourth quarter. The Lakers have outscored the Wolves by 8 points in the first 4 games.
I'll talk to someone.
Then look at that
Oh,
number,
like
minus
somebody's,
36
organized.
in the fourth. And you
Yeah.
peel that back one more
So
layer.
I'm all good on
The
that.
Lakers have been outscored in the paint in the fourth quarter
I'll tell
by
you in a
22
little bit.
points. The majority of that is in the paint. A lot of that is Ant Edwards driving into the paint. This is what happens when you play small and you play shallow. You're going to get tired, and your lack of size is going to show up. So look, JJ Redick can't invent a center that he trusts. He clearly doesn't have that. What needs to happen tonight, and for this series to go the Lakers' way, is LeBron, Luka, and especially Austin Reeves, who's been below his standard, have to be great. They have the capability to do it. They got the 3 seed because the 3 of them played so well together. If that
I
all
do
comes
both.
together
I like
at home
shading
tonight,
off,
they can send this
and I
series
like
back to
outlining.
Lakers, Timberwolves, Game 5, that's tonight. The Clippers, on the other hand, they were favored going into Game 5 in Denver, but they ran into Jamal that smoke. It was Jamal or nothing. Jamal Murray had in himself a game. We're going to pick this one up in the third quarter here. Nikola Jokic and Jamal's chemistry on full display.
Look, the two-man action between Jokic and Murray has fed families. A lot of families in Denver, but this one was a little different. I mean, it was just target practice for him, and once he gets comfortable, he gets lethal.
And then later in the third here, Jokic finds Murray in the corner. Jokic assisted on 6 of Murray's 3-pointers in Game 5. That's tied for the second most by any assist-shooter duo in the playoff game in the play-by-play era.
Yeah, and if you're the Clippers, you're kicking yourself because you limit Jokic to 13 points, but still, Jamal Murray goes up.
It wasn't just in the third quarter either. He said, hold on.
This is what got me up because when he's scoring in transition, my guy likes to be, chilling at times. When he's scoring in transition, dunking the ball, I feel like ever since the Aaron Gore dunk, the momentum has completely shifted.
Aaron Gore dunk, I like that. That right there, that gave Murray 40, his 6th career 40-point playoff game, breaking a tie with Jokic for the most in Nuggets franchise.
Like, oh, I take that personally, I'm going to get
A minute later, Murray, icing on the cake, pulls up for 3. He has 43 points, 8 of 14 from 3. Here's Jamal on his big night.
Yeah, it's just cool. I didn't even finish my pregame routine just because I had her out there. And sometimes I just relax. I don't have to, think about the game. I literally didn't think of the game, going into the game. So it's cool just to have her and kind of have, my priorities in front of me. And when I go play, I'm just playing free. And that's how I play tonight. So yeah, I did my job okay.
When a best-of-7 series is tied at 2-2, the winner of Game 5 wins the series 81% of the time. And before last night, Brian, it really looked like the Clippers, they were the more dominant team. What did Denver figure out here?
They figured out why they paid Jamal Murray a max last summer, and that was not what everybody thought, because he, in the playoffs, is such a difference maker, and he did that. If you're the Clippers, and you were told before the game you're going to hold Nikola Jokic to 4 of 13 shooting and 13 points, you would have been ecstatic. But this was a classic home game in the playoffs. The role players like Russell Westbrook and Christian Brown played wonderfully, and then you've got an amazing game from Murray, which he is known to do, and you have to figure he's going to do at least once in the series. If I'm the Clippers, I'm sick about this because I did such a great job. They switched smaller defenders and then doubled Jokic. It was effective. They probably should have won Game 1, that they lost in overtime, and then they give up Game 4 at home on a basket that comes in the last 100th of a second of the game. They could make a case that they could have won all 5 of these games. Instead, history shows they got a 19% chance going forward. But Jamal Murray bought them out of a subpar Jokic game. That was huge.
Yeah, Wendy, you're not alone. If you're the Clippers, you're double sick, especially after you hear that sound where he's like, oh, I didn't really think about the game going in. I was here with my family. I think he dropped 43 in your best game so far of the series, and one that has just been like spectacular basketball. Look at these numbers, as Malika mentioned earlier. 40-point games, he got 6. The rest of his career, 536 in the playoffs. He just turns it up. And it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And it was the manner in which he was in a flow state. The last thing that you want your opponent to be is in a flow state. I know Kurt, you understand what that means. When it just feels like it's their night and there's nothing you can do about it. 43 points, not just in the half court where he knocked down 8 threes, but it was also in transition. He was 4 of 5 in transition on top of having 7 assists. He was straight up comfortable. This was the best version of Jamal Murray, and it was right on time.
Right, and made up for maybe a little bit of a lacking night from Nikola Jokic in a lot of ways. But Tyler did something a little bit different, right? In the second half, you saw a lot of James Harden on Nikola Jokic. And for everything that we say, okay, is James Harden, is he up for the defensive task? Well, he's really good on defending post-ups, and he was able to impose his will a little bit, as much as you can on Jokic. It was the first time in the series that Zubac wasn't the primary defender on Nikola Jokic. What did the Clippers find there?
Because Jokic just picked them apart, and I thought last night when I watched Jokic, I mean, I've never seen him show so much emotions like he did. He was so like clapping, like the communication, the player coach of him, and then trusting others to take him home. I was like, oh, okay, big fella, I'm seeing the leader come out of you, and I was like, this is the Jokic that you want to see, right? A vocal Jokic, a guy that's engaged, that is encouraging his teammates and things of that nature. But real quick, can we show some love to Russell Westbrook? Yeah. 21 points off the bench. I thought in that first half he set the tone. His tenacity, him talking noise to Ty Lue and the Clippers coaching staff after getting buckets, rocking the cradle. I thought he set the tone early in the game. Russell Westbrook was huge in this game.
Particularly after missing that last game with foot inflammation, he was able to come back and really make his mark. And coming up here on NBA Today, Steph and Jimmy, they have the Rockets on the brink of elimination. It's not juicy, but Sinead's going to drop a secret recipe. What you know about that? I love that for you. Let's do it. Lucy Poo, you name it. It's about you.
At Sutter, delivering joy never stops. Our OBs and midwives are here to support you before, during, and after pregnancy. The whole team on your team. Sutter Health.
Did you know our Jersey Mike's order came with a $25 Fanatics promo code? Insane deal. Awesome. Can we please turn it off while we're eating? Simon feels very attacked right now. Oh, he feels attacked.
My Mike's members score Fanatics gear, like Simon, just by spending $25 in the app.
You still been gaming?
Not really. Just been building websites. Like trying to get them all set up. So that if I did have like random ideas, I could plop a site into it and just be hopefully selling quick.
That's time.
I was playing a bunch of Monster Hunter.
Oh, that's that new one, right?
Yeah, I just got super repetitive.
These people of privilege.
What, you been on it all? Or no?
We got on the other day. Me, Tyrese, Gonzo. You met Gonzo, huh?
Yeah.
Gonzo and Beloved. We were playing the other day.
What'd you guys play?
Multiplayer.
Once they discover their privileges
No,
are no longer exclusive.
Verdansk or whatever?
No. Tyrese don't like that.
No? Multiplayer only, huh?
I'm easy. I'll play whatever. You know. If my dogs aren't having fun on a mode, we'll go have fun on a certain mode, okay?
I mean, that's the whole. It's more fun to play with certain people than it is to even play the game.
Exactly.
Sign up, deposit, and get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
And then we started getting wrecked. Dude, we were getting wrecked at one point. But this fool was hitting 100 kills, but we were getting wrecked. I was like, how are you even doing that?
He was using you as bait.
Bro, I know, huh? And that's exactly what he did.
There's only one thing you have to do to get the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Visit an authorized John Deere dealer to learn more. What's the craziest thing you've done for love? Over 100 years ago, dairy farmers...
Dude, we were going against some good-ass people.
Not this one. This one.
What's your KD? What's your KD?
All to share the dairy they love.
Really? That's it?
That's it? And you're going
Nah,
for 100?
it don't even seem like it's that.
Then who had host in your party?
I think it was Gonzo. I think it was Gonzo because my shit was fucking up for a second.
You guys got to get somebody in there who sucks and then have them be host.
Because it's my baby.
Gotta feed your lawn. Feed it.
The consistency is everything. Scott's weakness. The product is incredible.
The weakest one might have been me.
I think lawn is the enemy of weeds.
Our life is complicated. Our lawn?
Damn.
Kill existing weeds and thicken your lawn all spring with dirt builder weed feed.
Hey, back in the day, bro, my shit was, when I was playing Black Ops, it was like 2.8. I was a demon. I'm not even gonna lie. I was hella good.
I was like 4.5.
Yours?
I mean 4.45.
Oh, okay. All right, that's a big jump, dude. That's a big ass jump.
You went from pro to like just average.
All right, you can stand up real quick.